All right, guys, we're back to another video. We've been plugging away at this Mustang here. We got the fuel lines squared away. They're hanging. We finally found a way to route them through. Gonna hang those up. We got Keith over there with his straight pipe Mustang. Yep. So we're getting there.
Getting there, man.
Next, we just took the wheel off. It's been an all-day thing.
Yeah,
you guys have no idea the hell we went through today. We couldn't even record because it was hell.
But we'll go over that before once we get this last hurdle, we'll show everybody.
Right. So now we're in the process of mounting up these. Oh, there's Lou. Lou's hanging out. That's it. Lou's here. It's a good time.
And Uncle Bill.
Uncle Bill's hanging out. So we got the headers here, as you can see. You knew that was there. Yeah.
So we're gonna take we gotta take this
wheel, the fender liner.
The fender liner out.
Yep.
And then we're gonna thread from the top the new line from the regulator down here, route it underneath this fuel rail, straight back
all the way back to the tank. And then we're gonna wire a few things and then start it up.
And then start it up.
So, you know, it's the usual shenanigans over here. So, and as you can see, the Hellcat's not here. I had somebody message me asking where the Hellcat was, and you know, I got to say, hopefully be back soon. I'm expecting to go get it probably Tuesday or Wednesday. It's been getting worked on. How to get the radio reprogrammed and all kinds of fun stuff. So I want it back as bad as anybody else. You know, I love drag racing these Mustangs and putting them in place. You know, so.
Mustang don't stand a chance.
Tell him, Lou.
It don't stand a chance.
Mustang don't stand a chance.
It don't stand a chance.
Wait, we gotta tell them what we got. Keith, open that box over there. That blue box behind you. Tell them what we got.
Blue box. Oh
Yeah, they want to see what we got for the Hellcat. Yeah.
This, how many horsepower is this?
At least 50.
50?
Yep.
25 each.
All right, good.
25 each.
Got the fender badges for the Hellcat, so we're getting there, folks. But Mustang is almost done out of my goddamn garage. And the Hellcat, that's right, back in your goddamn garage. And the Hellcat should be back this week, Lou. Tell him.
Let's go.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Let's go get it.
What do you got there?
Yeah. Oh.
All right, boys, we get into it. We'll get back to you. Lou, tell me what's going on, Lou.
The Whipple's ready to start up. This Ford Mustang.
Fuel system, how's it look?
Looks real good.
Wiring, how's it look?
Real good.
Solid.
Well, we heard the pumps come on.
What's next, Lou?
We did our thing. Change the oil. Let's do what we gotta do.
Filter?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right. Keith, what do you think? Keith, ready for oil and filter? All right. Boys, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
we had a couple of these, couple of those, you know. No. Now, Bill, I need you to take a step back and get it squared away right now. I got the lift on one side. I'm about to do the second side. The fuel system is plumbed in, as you can see. We're ready to start this thing up. But the fuel pump's wired in. With the fuel pressure gauge, everything wired in to good to go. We're gonna put the lift under the car, and then we'll get back to you guys, show you the first startup. All right, we're back. Got the oil put in the car. Getting dark out. Filters on, oil's in. Keith's in there. Uploading the tune. What do you got, Keith?
Trying to find the end gauge in the computer here, but I'm not finding it so easy.
That's not good.
We'll get there.
But the fuel pump's wired.
I heard the fuel pump come on, so as long as we'll do that a couple times, make sure we don't see any leaks. I mean, I suppose we could try to that intercooler should come on with the key on too, right?
Right.
So I don't know if we heard that come on.
Yep.
We could try to burp that a little bit while I'm working on this.
So we're gonna have Keith rotate the gauge a couple times. and then check the oil pressure. I'm sorry, check the fuel pressure on the gauge and see what happens.
Yeah, you can start actually. We can do that. We got to adjust that before I start it anyway. We got to. Let me read the instructions here on the fuel here. For fuel return systems, need to set the regulator to 55 psi, no vacuum.
No reference.
No vacuum reference. Once the fuel pressure is set, put a manifold pressure reference on the regulator, and gauge pressure at idle should drop around 45. So if you wanna, I can put the key on and we can get the fuel pumps going, and then
right,
you can
get
try
it up to
get
there.
it at 55.
Okay.
So we can work on that while I'm still trying to get this tune done.
All right, so we'll get started on that. We're gonna have Keith turn the key a couple times. We're gonna check our gauge over here, because right now it's at let's see, 0. So that's what we do next, guys. We'll get back to you. Keith, what's the prognosis?
I don't know. It says please wait
We've been waiting.
with a little green explanation.
How's the laptop look?
That's all done. We got the tune on here.
Is that going to glass?
Eventually.
Okay. So what do you think about that? So you downloaded the tune.
It's on the end.
The tune's in, what's that called?
The end gauge.
End gauge, okay. And what do we got? Loading up?
We gotta get the tune out of the end gauge and into the car.
We gotta peel this plastic off.
Sure, if you'd like to.
That's what I'm here for.
We're just waiting because it says please wait, and it said it could take up to 8 minutes.
Well, I'm not very patient, Keith.
Oh, I know. Me neither.
Well, what's going on here? We're just waiting.
We're just waiting.
So I heard the fuel pumps fry. They're pretty loud.
Yeah, I mean, I can't right now. I'm not getting anything.
Yeah, that plugs into OBD, obviously.
Obviously, yeah, sure.
Okay. Does the horn work? Nothing.
No.
Wow. I controlled the car, huh? What do you think, Bill? Yeah, that's what I gotta say.
I don't know what
Did we unplug? I think we unplugged the horns
Did we?
when we were doing the intercooler pump.
Okay.
When we removed the bumper. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
this is the nerve-wracking portion of this whole thing, is getting this download here.
I'll tell you, when we put the supercharger in Miata, it wasn't as hard.
Well, actually, it was hard. I had to end up by doing a remote site with the guy who did the tune for me because I was too computer illiterate to do it. So
But the
and it
Miata's
worked
running
out.
good.
Yeah, it works great.
Pulling hard.
Yep.
What's next? Upgrade the pulley.
Upgrade the pulleys, get a little bit more horsepower out of it, a little bit more torque. And
Then buy a C8. Yep. C8. C8 will smoke this Mustang.
He's not gonna have any fun keeping up with us anymore, so he needs to buy something else.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So,
Hey, you
well,
know,
we're getting there.
The last time we went out over to Madam Morris, we were on 84, and I kept up with you guys okay.
You did pretty good.
Yeah.
If you consider 8th place pretty good, you did pretty good. All right, guys, we'll get back to you. All right, boys, we're back. It's a couple days later. Got my common staple here.
Your new sidekick.
My new sidekick. This is the new other half of Mustangs.
I'm stuck to you like glue these
That's
days.
right, we're Velcro. So, whatchamacallit? We are at a point where we buttoned up the fuel line under the car. As you can see, we routed it up behind this splash shield here, and
We basically filed the route of the original line, and we didn't end up removing it. Not that we're ever going back. but-
right. We kept the factory feed line in the car, which we talked about removing, but you know, I just didn't see a point in doing so. So, you know, in case Keith wants to go back to all motor one day.
We're not going back
fuel
to all
lines
motor.
there.
No,
But
I don't think that's
we put the
happening.
plastic shields up on here, and yeah, everything's buttoned up under the car. We can finally say that everything's buttoned up because the fuel lines are going back from, Keith is trimming some
Zip ties.
those things. Yep.
Yeah, those things.
And we got the 2 lines, the 10 and the 8, going all the way up to the front of the car, and it goes all the way up to the fuel pressure regulator. So
One thing that we didn't do that was provided was a bunch of clamps to screw into
With self-tappers.
With self-tappers into the side of the frame, or
Yep.
the body, I should say. And we just both kind of looked. We're like, I don't think that's necessary. It can't be good.
and it
long-term.
can't be good for the longevity of the car either. Rust might start or something else.
So we just decided to zip time for now, and maybe we'll reassess that later. But
yeah, that's all. But let's talk about where we're at now with the tuning aspect of the car. Like you said, you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I mean, you'll see a little bit in the video. Obviously, I'm sure you got some conversation of it, but we
attempted it last time, a couple days ago.
time, and basically, I wasn't able to establish a connection with the ECM of the car. So I went through the tuner and ended up ultimately having to go through the maker of the N-Gauge, which is eMotion, I believe is the name of it.
All right.
And they were pretty responsive, but everything is through email, so you can't do anything over the phone. And they basically have diagnosed that they're fairly sure that the problem is the OBD2 cable to the N-Gauge, which is not like it's an Ethernet cable on one end to the N-Gauge and an OBD to the car. And it's not just something you can go to like AutoZone and pick up. So they're pretty sure that that's broke. So they sent out another one. It was supposed to be
USPS, United States Postal Service, priority.
Priority is supposed to be 3 days. And
priority 7 days later.
We'll be at a full 7 days by the time I actually get it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to make an attempt to fix the one that's broke.
Right. I got my little coupler, my crimper here. We're gonna take apart the lines and we'll get those new Ethernet connections that Keith has, and I'll try to clip them together on.
We don't even know that this is the end that's broke or where the line
we're gonna
is,
try it, though.
but we're gonna try because we want to get this car going.
So
we did get the fuel pumps worked out. We have them on. We got the fuel pressure reference setted, but we don't want to start the car on the stock tune because that's not going to work.
No. So what's stopping us from starting the car now is the tune, basically. Like we have to get the tune uploaded, otherwise, you don't know how it's going to react.
We tested cranking before we got the fuel going, and it cranks. Sounds good. Everything's okay to go. So we just gotta. Let's. We want to talk about that IAT sensor that we struggled with. I mean, really, what set the tone of the last.
Oh, the IAT.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pain. Well, let's explain to them what the problem was. We're gonna lower the lift now, and me and Keith are gonna tell you the IAT sensor.
So we've talked about this a couple times. It's on a couple episodes. Basically, Whipple, provides an IAT sensor if you're going to use their tune. If you're going to use any other tuner besides Whipple's, you got to use a different IAT sensor.
Right.
We didn't realize that until
the different one's brass.
Well, the different one is brass. The one that Whipple sends is like, what do you call it?
I believe that material was called like a Bakelite material. I've heard that term before. It's like a plastic high temperature resistance, kind of like a plastic material.
Yeah. Well, we broke that.
Well, we tried to unscrew it from the location where it sits is like right back here on the back end of the supercharger.
Yeah, we started buttoning some stuff up, like all this stuff.
All the brace and all this stuff, but we tried to remove it the same way we put it in, and it just didn't turn out well.
No, so we had to take the lid off and go in from the inside, and I was about having a heart attack. So luckily, no one saw that video because it was like it's open intake in there, and we were just so nervous about.
We very carefully got it to come out, though.
We did, and we had to do some crazy things, right? We were burning it out. We were like, it was.
Well, we were just trying everything, screw extractors, and it finally started to turn. And the problem with the screw extractors was as you turned it, it would spread the material, which was weakened at that point, into the threads. So it was hell to get what was left of this sensor out of the threads. But it finally started turning. And we got it out, and then
I had to run around and find a tap because we knew we were going to mess up the threads.
Right, which weren't horribly bad at all. We just cleaned them up, basically.
It was super easy once we got that done. But it was a 3/4 inch, I think, pipe tap. Nobody had one in stock. Luckily, a buddy of mine, thank you, Glenn, had one in stock, and or in his truck, I should say. And he was able to lend us that, and then it went in like butter. Right.
I mean, it wasn't a matter of destroying the threads. The threads just had to be cleaned up after the fact.
Yep.
Because that material they used to make that thing was it was just, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it, but.
So, and then once we turned on the fuel pumps, the only problem we had once we got that fixed was if you showed my little union there.
Oh, yeah. It was leaking right here.
But I think it was just not tight enough.
No, it wasn't tight enough.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're at. So. Next, we're going to floor out the gauge.
Yeah, try to get this Ethernet wired up and get this thing started, man.
That's it. All right, boys, we're back. We had quite an adventure here getting these two vacuum lines on. If you look down in here, there's this one goes to the wastegate, which is over here, and this one goes to the rising rate. And it was an adventure getting those things on. So right now, Keith is just buttoning back up the PVC and stuff. So. Oh, you want to give them the good news on the N-Gauge, or did we go over that already?
Well, I think we kind of went over it. I mean, basically, we're waiting on a wire.
OBD to Ethernet.
To Ethernet to be able to download the tune. Our little makeshift repair did not work.
Did not go over well.
So we're just waiting. We're waiting on parts like all the other times that builds get held up.
That's right. So now what we're doing basically is just buttoning up mostly what's on top of the car we can reach. We buttoned up the fuel system down below, I think you said earlier.
Yeah,
And now it's just a matter of like, now we're gonna move inside the car and do some rewiring for the fuel pump and clean it up and make it look good, tape it up, you know, where it calls for it. And
I'm gonna you know, zip tie some stuff out of the way, make sure all the belts are clear, so that when we do get this thing running, we're not gonna have any problems.
this line here is just temporary. This one goes from the rising rate to the vacuum source. We're gonna trim that and just run it along here somehow like this, I think, something like that.
Something like that would be fine.
And then you like that's good. I mean, you can leave it like that, but we'll trim it up. But yeah, I mean, so the N gauge I think will be here next week in the mail.
Well, the wire should be
the wire
Monday, but we'll try to. Obviously, as soon as we get it, when you and I can both catch up, we'll try to download the tune and get it started.
Right. So, but moving on to next is what we're gonna do is button up the wires in the trunk. Put that fuse back in there for the pump for this thing.
Which one did it go to?
Yeah, we'll get to that. And we're gonna put the hood back on the car and just, you know, the last piece of the puzzle is really just, you know, getting the N gauge to upload the tune. And then after that, we're gonna fire it up. So we're gonna move on to some wiring in the trunk now. I'll show you guys what we're doing. We'll move on from there.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
What do we got?
What do we got? Well, we got everything buttoned up. Got all the wires and hoses of the belt for the supercharger and the serpentine belt.
Yep.
So we got no problems there. We got no fuel leaks.
Nothing.
We adjusted the fuel pressure. We got the vacuum reference hooked up.
Yep, that was a pain.
We got
That took like an hour or two.
Yeah, we got all the body panels back on.
The under tray's on, as you guys just saw in the time lapse. Oh, I missed a screw up there. We'll get that next.
And we got the hood back on, lined up, and it shuts properly.
Well, we fit it up perfectly the first time.
Yeah, which was amazing.
Like
And we are a proper wire away from being able to download the tune.
Yep. Well, we cleaned up a lot of the stuff in the back seat, which was
you did that.
needed to be addressed because it was like all haphazard and like, you know.
Well, we just kind of fumbled through it until it worked.
Right.
And
but now it looks good at least.
now you weren't happy with that, so now it looks good.
Now it looks good. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we're just waiting on this wire, and then you can get embarrassed by the Ford with the 300 when you get it back.
I don't foresee that happening. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
You got a little bit of.
We're gonna have a good time either way. You know, whose car is faster?
Well, you got to get the 300 back. Is it coming back?
It's coming back. It's coming back.
What's the
You
deal?
guys have been messaging me. A lot of people have been messaging me about the car and this and that. And the story goes like this: the car has been away for the past 6-7 weeks.
Actually, it's like a curse. As soon as we started working on this, the car has been gone ever since we started working on this.
It's like 7 weeks. The car hasn't been on the property in like 7 weeks because
Yeah.
it's been out in Massachusetts at my buddy's house, and it all started with me being there last time. We went to go to the Chrysler website and download an update for the radio to a thumb drive. And the thumb drive then got inserted into the car, and
It's done remotely, right? It's done through
no,
a
it's not done remotely on that car. As far as I know, we downloaded an update for the radio onto a thumb drive, put the thumb drive in the car to install the update, and that didn't work for like 3 days. Like it was just like looping and looping. It would get to like 80% done and start over again and start over again. So it was like a nightmare. So the car has been in Massachusetts for like 6-7 weeks now. 7 weeks tomorrow, I think. So that being said, we took the radio out of the car. Well, my buddy Seth did out there in Massachusetts. We took the radio out of the car, sent it to Infotainment, which is a company in Florida that updates the radios for this specific reason.
accept the update.
To accept the update.
Yeah.
They updated the radio. I paid for the service, and they sent him back the radio. He put the radio in the car, and the radio says locked.
Didn't recognize the VIN or something.
Didn't recognize the VIN or something like that. Took the radio back out, sent it back down like a week ago, or 2 weeks ago. Maybe a week ago. It was 2-day shipping overnight or something like that. And they got the radio back, and they updated it again. They fixed whatever the issue was. So now they're shipping the radio back to him tomorrow. It's coming to him via 2-day express or something, which, as you know, at the post office means 8 days.
Yeah.
So, so he's gonna have the radio back hopefully by Wednesday. And then he's gonna get a chance to work on it at his convenience because he's a very busy guy. And once the radio is installed, it should be good. He's gonna update everything in the car, like make the remote start work, the paddle shifters work, and like just.
So literally, if you go pick that thing up by the end of next week, it should be back.
It should be back a week from today, because today's Sunday. We're filming today. Today's Sunday, and what's today? The 17th or 16th? 15th.
Something like that. 15th, 16th. Yeah.
So it should be back actually a week from today. Because if I have to take a day off from work on Friday to go get it, I will. Or Saturday, I'll go get it. It's 3-hour drive one direction to get the car, and 3 hours back. So you're spending basically
a whole day
on the road.
Yeah,
you
hang out with Seth for a few minutes and whatever the case may be.
But the car is...
That'll be perfect because you get it back at the end of next week. I should have at least the first couple revisions of the tune done.
Right.
And, we'll be pretty close, buddy.
Yeah, next week when I get the car back, we're praying. Like, I know you guys want to see the car. I haven't seen the car physically in 7 weeks. So, it's been like 2 months since I've actually seen the car. He was doing some other wiring for me because he made the trunk release button work, and third brake light is working now. He wired all that stuff in. I ordered a couple other little things for the car, like start button, red Hellcat start button, this and that. I'm on the fence with like investing more money into the car to make it complete, to ask more for the car, because I've had people contact me interested in buying the car. And I got offers for the car as it sits, but no one's come through yet. Like, people see this car.
No one's got the cash in hand. Like,
no one, right? And I understand that because it's a 5-year-old car, and banks are like hesitant to give loans on cars that are like.
Well, like you and I talked about, this isn't the type of car that you get a loan for. It's not a value. You can't value it.
You can't value it
based on the make, model of the vehicle. And everybody thinks that's a 6-cylinder 300.
Right.
So you can't get the value that you have out of it for getting a loan. So you either have to take a loan up to the value of the vehicle and have cash to offset the rest.
Right.
So if somebody ever showed up with like $10K in cash and wanted to borrow the rest, or
you're in the banking industry, like you can get like a car loan for like 10 grand, and then get like a personal loan to like offset the rest of the money.
Sure,
because you're not going to get a car loan for a car that's 5 years old that has according to vehicle records has like 100 and something thousand miles on it.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you huge money for that car.
No. I think we looked it up, and I think it was worth like maybe 16 or
I think it was like 14 or 16.
14 or 16,000.
Yeah.
And that value probably stayed strong, but still, you need another
you
at
a
least
lot more money.
$15,000 on top.
You need a lot more money. You probably need another 20, 30 grand. But the cars hopefully have it back by a week from today. So I'm really, really hoping for is like a week from today. Because when I get it back, the car's been gone 7 weeks. I haven't even done the body work yet. So when I get the car back, I'm going to drive for a little bit, make sure everything's 100%, make sure the remote start works, all the brake lights and tail lights, everything, headlights are working.
Red key especially.
Red key works, everything works, and it's just a matter now of driving it for X amount of miles, and then making sure like nothing pops up.
Well, we want to try to get that thing back, get this thing running, go for a little cruise with my dad.
Yep, because your dad has a nice Challenger.
Yeah. And so, what's he got? The 345.
Something like that. It's a sublime green, right?
Yeah, sublime green with a stick in it.
But it's stick shift.
It is stick. Yeah.
But like I said, it's just a matter of getting the car back now, and like people
Go for one last cruise.
One last cruise, and then
take us for a little history lesson.
Oh yeah, but after that cruise is over, I think it sucks to get rid of the car again, to give it to a body shop for 4 weeks, and then get it back, and it's just like, and as far as the body work, I'm really like at the point where I can't see getting the body work done and respraying the car without getting the sport front bumper and the hood, because I'm not going to pay to have the factory hood spray. Like I have to have the other hood. And as you guys have seen in my other videos, I got I got the badges here for the fenders. If you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, I posted these things up. I got one for each fender. They both
25 horse a box.
25 horse a box, yeah. But even in the beginning of this video, you guys saw these things. But I got these for the fenders, We're getting there. I'm gonna order the one for the trunk and this and that. But it's just a matter of like getting the car back now, driving it for like 1,000 miles. I mean, I'm gonna need tires when I get it back. I'll tell you that much, because I have 2 brand new tires, but the 2 on the front are like half life. So I'm gonna put those on the back and take care of those. Order 2 more tires, but it's like a seasonal car because you can't drive in the winter, especially with this. It's like even with this, like you're not gonna go anywhere. These are like Kumo Extras, It's like this is not meant for anything besides dry and like marginally wet roads.
Well, like I said, I mean these were the cheapest ones I found at the time because I knew I drive it hard, so they don't last very long. They last maybe 10,000 miles for me.
Yep.
And I need a new set. So.
Yep. But that's where we're at. That was the update about the 300. Like I said, hopefully a week from today, like I want it back. I want to make a video on that car so bad. Like I just want my car back and just be able to drive it. And it's not anyone's fault.
Get this Ford out of your garage.
Yep. And it's not anyone's fault that the car's been gone this long. It's just things happen and like
we're in a tough time, man. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Everything else is going on. So
yeah. Where's your mask? 6 feet. But yeah. I mean, hopefully next week we get the car back. Take it right out there and pick it up, and just as soon as I get the car back, I'm making a video for you guys with that car. That's the first thing I'm doing. So, and then like I said, the car is for sale, but people contact me about the car being for sale, and they never follow through or
not serious enough.
Not serious enough. There's a lot of interest on the car, but people are not serious enough. That's what I was discussing with Keith. It's like, do I invest the X amount of dollars to make the car like 100% finished? I mean, seats, seat belts, cluster, steering wheel. Do I invest that money? Do I leave it the way it is? It's, comment down below what you guys think. Should I invest the extra money, or it's not like I got like a money tree in the backyard, to go pull off of.
Well, right now the leaves are falling off, so it's pretty bare.
But yeah, I mean, so next week we're waiting on Keith's cable.
Tomorrow.
Monday. We did get a notification that it's in new.
Yeah, it's literally like right down the road from us. Like we
right.
could literally walk to the place to go get it, but
right.
They won't let us in.
No.
And with masks on, definitely not.
Definitely not. So Keith's car is going to be running. I mean, it has to be running by next week. I mean, I don't see why not.
I mean, listen, like we've heard the fuel pumps come on. We know it will start.
We get pressure to the rail.
Yeah, we just don't want to try to start it with the stock tune. It's just not going to work.
No.
It cannot work. So we both agree that that's not a wise choice. So we just got to get this tune downloaded and it'll run.
Now, if we get the wire back, they said it's 90% chance that the wire is the problem. It's an OBD.
Correct.
It's an OBD to Ethernet wire. So you have an OBD port in your car with a wire that goes to
the N gauge.
The N gauge.
The Ethernet goes to the Ethernet.
Yeah, the OBD goes to the OBD.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
that's if that gauge doesn't fix the problem.
And
I'm sorry, if that wire doesn't fix the problem, then they say it's the gauge.
Then they say it's the gauge, and we have to go through that whole thing too. But and then the only other issue that's outstanding in this car, but it will not prevent us from driving it and getting it done, is we're not getting a signal to the fuel level.
Right, we don't know the fuel level. Right.
And we're just there's a little bit of confusion about what wire to cut and what to do.
Which
so
one
we're
to
just
slice
gonna
it to.
We're just gonna do a little research on that and make sure. I mean, listen, like you said, I'll just drive 100 miles and put gas in it.
Every 100 miles, fill her up. But that's where we're at. That's the update on the 300. That's the update on the Mustang, which has been here for, I can't believe you told me how long that was. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, like we talked about, it's really not that long. We're only working on it 1 day a week, maybe 8 hours a day. So we're only in this thing about 55 hours.
Right.
Which, I think is probably a little bit longer than they recommend, but we had some hurdles.
Yeah, we had, things happen that you don't.
Well, we like to have fun, and we
we
dilly dally a little bit and
you get a couple of lunch, couple of drinks,
It slows down.
Slows down.
I got you.
But that's gonna be it for this week. Like I said, next week next week would be a glorious week if we
both of these cars running.
The 300's back and fucking
everything
ready to go, and this car cranks up. I mean, this car, as you know, this car is straight pipe from the block back. So this thing is. I discussed with Keith today the longevity of this exhaust system on this car, which I don't think he's going to live with for a very long time. So, I mean, a straight pipe 5.0 supercharger is going to make a lot of noise.
Yeah,
so,
I'm excited about it. I want to hear it.
Until we got to get factory mufflers in the back. We'll put cutouts over here, open and close them, you know, stuff like that. But next week's the week, guys. Like I'm putting a lot of eggs in one basket. You know, like this car is gonna be running, and you know, the 300 is gonna be back, and you know, just a lot of hopes for next week because it's been a long time. Like I know you guys are missing the 300. Like I said, you know, this isn't really like a Mopar channel, but I guess it is a Mopar channel. But you know,
well, everybody's here to see the Mopar, you
right?
know?
They're here to see the 300, you know. So
you know, I mean, eventually, you are a Mopar guy, so there will always be Mopars on the channel.
Well, we got a GT here.
Yeah, the Miata.
And then we got a Ford Lightning there. It's like you know, it's I don't know, but you know, red Fords are dominating the garage right now. But, you know?
The way I like it.
Well, that Lightning is like 400 horse, and this thing's like more than 8. So that wouldn't even be. That'd be like a Prius versus a fucking like C8.
Well,
you know.
I love that Lightning. That was like,
you know,
when I first moved into this neighborhood and I saw you had that Lightning, I was like, I knew I was gonna like it.
Oh yeah, good guy right there.
It's like good guy right there.
So, but guys, that's gonna be it for this week's video, and you know, we babbled on for long enough, I think.
Yes, I agree.
But next Sunday, I'm looking forward to it. Like, you know, I've been let down for like the past 3-4 weekends as far as getting the 300 back. I mean, I missed that car immensely. So
I'm just glad that your depression and my depression were at the same time. Like
I was depressed because your car would start today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it starts, but the tune is the issue. Yeah. The car will crank and it will turn over, but
we tested cranking before we got the fuel working, and we know that we're getting fuel. It will start.
It will start.
You know what I mean? We know we got spark. It's just I do not want to risk it.
No, there's no
stock
point.
tone.
No.
You know, like there's no way that stock ECM is gonna like what's going on.
It's not gonna be good.
Not gonna be happy.
But guys, we're gonna end it here. We're gonna catch you guys next week and expect to see the 300 hopefully.
And this thing running.
So that's it for now, guys. We'll catch you guys next week, and you know, share with your friends, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell,
That's it.
all that happy horse shit. We'll catch you guys next week.